In a world where fashion sense makes no sense, one woman will stand against mullets and acid-wash denim. She is
teaching you how to dress like Wonder Woman.
Hey guys, today I'll be showing you how I recreated these two looks from the upcoming Wonder Woman 1984 movie. So starting off with this casual look, I ventured to some local thrift stores to see if I could find the closest match to each piece, keeping in mind that I could easily modify them if necessary. I came home with this white suit jacket, this pinstripe jacket, this white button-up shirt, these enormous pants, these nude heels, and this belt. Her jacket seems to look either brown or light gray depending on the lighting, and since I couldn't find a close match anywhere, I decided to just buy a white jacket and dye it. So I got this taupe dye thinking that it would give me the nice gray brown that I wanted, but it really didn't even end up showing up on the fabric. So I did some experimenting with these two colors I had left over from another project, and I mixed them together in the pot until I got close enough to the color that I wanted. Then I left the jacket in for about 15 minutes. The jacket did turn out more light gray than it did brown or a grayish brown, but I was pretty happy with how it turned out. So I moved on to ripping open the pockets, which for some reason were sewn shut. Now, my original plan was to make some pockets out of similar fabric and attach them to the jacket, kind of like hers are. Well, long story short, I left them way too long in the dye. And imagine every shade of gray combining together to make one super shade of gray. The 51st shade of gray. So instead, I decided to keep the pockets how they were, and I mixed some gray and brown paint together and painted the edges of the pockets kind of like how hers are, so at least they looked similar enough. So I got this striped button-down shirt that looked a lot like the inner lining of her jacket. I took the sleeves off and I hand sewed them on the inside of the sleeves of the jacket so that when I rolled the sleeves up, you could see the striped lining underneath. So moving on to making the vest, I tore the sleeves off of the original jacket and I started marking and cutting how big the shoulder area needed to be, and I also started pinning up the sides to take in the jacket overall. Then I marked how far down I wanted the neckline to go, and as soon as I cut it out, I hemmed the neckline all the way around as well as the sleeves and sewed it all into place. I also took the bottom of the jacket up by maybe an inch or so and hemmed it all the way around. Then I slapped on some buttons. The final step was taking in the pants with some darts in the back, and cue the DJ air horns because we are done! I knew that trying to recreate the white dress with thrifted items was going to be a bit of a challenge, but my idea was that if I could find a similar top, a skirt, and some fabric for the belt, I could pull it off. I wasn't able to find what I was looking for in my local thrift stores, so I went to eBay where I was able to find this white vintage blouse for $9 that had the notch collar just like hers. As for the skirt, it ended up being really difficult to find one long enough and the same shade of white as the blouse. Luckily, I found this fabric at Joann's that was a perfect match for fairly cheap to make it from scratch. So I went ahead and cut out a basic skirt shape a bit larger than my measurements so I can put in an elastic waistband later. I also folded the front piece into thirds and cut along the fold to make the seam for the leg slit. I marked how high I wanted the leg slit to go and then sewed those two front pieces together, stopping at that line. Then I went ahead and attached the back of the skirt to the front. Then I gave all the seams a good press and top stitched the slit.
Wow, so crisp.
For the waistband, I folded down 1 inch from the top and sewed it all the way around, leaving about an inch gap so that you could feed the elastic through. For the belt, it looks like hers wraps around at least 3 times with a lot still left over once it's tied. So I just cut out long strips of the fabric about 5.5 inches wide, and I ended up with 3 super long pieces that I then sewed together. I cut out 3 more the same lengths to add to the belt's thickness. I have no idea how long the belt actually ended up being, but if you can wrap it around yourself enough times to star in the next Mummy movie, then you're good to go. And for the final touch, I bought some beads and some thin chains to recreate her multi-layer necklace. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope this inspires you to make your own Wonder Woman costume.